going to do an insight video today. I'm going to talk about, we've been talking about the soul, and we've been talking about the higher self. We've been talking about the integration of the soul with the higher self. But I want to start with the integration, and it's been a process where I feel like the sort of the energy frequencies and the vibrations that have shifted. First of all, it was talking about integrating the higher self with the human self, which is the start of sort of opening up to like the oneness vibration, the oneness frequency. And the more you started to do this, the more you started to open up your sort of energy vibration, your energy frequency within your human self, and feeling that energy, feeling that light, feeling that frequency. And it's all been like part of the same whole, the same like oneness vibration again, the eternal self, the eternal moment, the infinite self, the higher self. And we talked a lot about like universal laws, and that seemed to be the starting point of starting to sort of open up, like the universal law of correspondence, which is the opening to start to feel that vibration, feel that frequency within your own energy field as a spiritual being. And then we talked about things like the universal law of vibration and frequency, and we've talked about the universal law of oneness, and all these kind of laws are sort of openings. Then we talked about the universal law of rhythm, and it talks about like this expansion and sort of like growth, and the rhythm is like evolution, and it's the different sort of frequencies that are all in like this oneness vibration. And so the universal law of correspondence is like a starting point, and I feel this is sort of like where the starting sort of like point of the information started coming out through about this integration from like the higher self, and then integrating and connecting to the human self. But that's opening the door, it was opening a frequency to sort of like move us that step further, where you go from the integration of the higher self to the soul, and the soul and the union of the soul and the higher self. And when they start connecting in together, and they start to open up to these soul qualities and the soul vibrations and the frequencies, but they open up to purpose. Each and every one of us are here for a purpose to start to bring those vibrations, those soul qualities, those soul frequencies that were sort of like when we were in the source energy, when we were in sort of like the different realities of different dimensions, and that source, that soul quality, and bringing down that soul vibration and frequency. And in my sort of like understanding, like souls, you got soul groups, and soul groups within sort of different frequencies hold different vibrations. So there's collective of souls, and when you look at like infinite beings of light and energy, they sort of like, they are in these vibrations, they are in these frequencies, and they're holding these vibrations and these frequencies for the oneness vibration, for all realities and all dimensions and different realities. And as souls, there's many of us that are sort of on a similar vibration, and collectively we're sort of like, when we were sort of in source energy, collectively we were sort of harnessing this vibration in our souls to come back to this plane of existence, to bring the vibrations that are needed to bring this planet and bring this reality back into oneness. And this is what we're all here for. This is the purpose of many of us coming back and bringing these frequencies. Like I've talked about Atlantis, I've talked about Lemuria, I've talked about Lyra, I've talked about Andromeda, all these kind of frequencies that are coming back. They're higher frequencies of from different realities that are sort of like now integrating within the planet. And they're integrating because the souls are now vibrating at those soul frequencies, soul vibrations are now vibrating at a level where these frequencies start to be integrated within our own energy fields, but with it on the planet as well. Collectively we can start to sort of like integrate these vibrations, these frequencies, and the soul and the higher self work in the union, this perfect relationship. And when I talk about this diamond consciousness, which is the union, which is like heaven on earth, but the diamond consciousness is the union of the higher self and the soul together. And what it's doing is it's allowing us to open up our own energy frequencies to receive these higher frequencies, to once again bring this planet back into harmony, back into balance, back into peace. So you do this on an individual level, and then you do it on a collective level. And this is all sort of like the natural sort of process of opening up to like the eternal moment and the oneness vibration. The fact that we are we hold the, when we start to come open to our soul qualities, we know that the infinite soul, or our souls, in the many incarnations that it's gone through, is part of like an infinite vibration, an infinite frequency, and the soul knows this. And it looks to, the soul's whole purpose is to come back into pure harmony, to pure oneness again. And this is what the higher self helps, with the soul coming back into union, helps the soul to come back to that harmony, come back to that oneness, and it remembers. And this is what the purpose of us awakening and having the awareness of the soul is this purpose. um, so in this reality, this is part of the process, that we start to open up and integrate those soul qualities, so we can start to then bring the frequencies, the vibrations, back to the planet that's needed to bring it back into harmony, to bring it back into oneness, but also open it up again, open up these energy channels again, once again, so we can receive these frequencies from these different realities, and these different realities, like I'm talking about these vibrations of like Lyra, Atlantis, these kind of Lemuria. These are spiritual frequencies that bring us back into oneness, bring us back into harmony, and this is the purpose of the soul. And this is why it's really important that we all start to integrate and create the union between the soul and the higher self, because when we do that, then we come back into harmony, but we also become open channels to receive the frequencies that are needed for this reality. And this is the whole sort of evolution of this spiritual age, is bringing us back into that union, that harmony once again, with our higher selves, and our soul becomes in union with that, and then once again we become connected to the eternal moment and the oneness vibration that's needed for this planet. And each and every one of us has a part to play in that, because each and every soul brings a vibration that brings us back into oneness, brings us back into harmony, brings us back into that union. And once we start to do that, then we start to, like I said, shift and change the planet's vibration. And this is what this time's about, and this is what the guides, the masters, the infinite beings are doing. They're bringing us back into this universal sort of, open us up to this universal source of energy, where all these other sort of dimensions and realities are vibrating and assisting, and they're bringing frequencies, and we're all acting now as these open channels to receive these frequencies. So a lot will be happening for a lot of people, and when you start to get into union, with your soul and your higher self, you become this open channel, and you'll start to receive insights, and sort of like frequencies that will start to ask you to express yourself, or express yourself, or your vibration, your frequency, in different ways. It's all about this process of natural evolution. Again, this connects to the universal law of rhythm, and it connects again, once again, to the oneness vibration, and the universal law of vibration and frequency. Each and every one of us are opening up to this. The more we open up our channels to this, the more we start to receive insights, wisdom, understanding, awareness from different frequencies. But we're like, again, when the soul and the higher self are in union, we are like this multi-dimensional being that has this ability to integrate many different frequencies at once, which is what the oneness vibration is. It's source energy of infinite vibrations, of infinite creation, of infinite consciousness. And this is what we're moving towards now. Many of us are moving towards this as we start to step onto the path of starting to integrate our soul and our higher self. Then we become these open channels, and this is what's needed, because then we start to harness vibrations and frequencies and awareness and wisdom in a different way, that we start to create and express reality in a different way. And this is what this time's about, is expressing and creating like reality in a different way, so that the planet can shift and change and come back into union and oneness, but also so we can come back into union and oneness with source energy and the oneness vibration and the eternal self. And this is the whole process, and it's a natural process of cycles of vibration and frequency. And the more that we start to connect into them, the more we start to unify with them, the more we start to open up, and start to integrate them. And it's all about integrating consciousness at the moment. And consciousness is like vibrations and frequencies, and consciousness is vibrations of frequencies that are like our higher self and our soul can integrate and align with and resonate with, to start to bring a different way of being to the planet. And being, again, is being in connection with source energy. Being is being in connection with our souls, it's being in connection with our higher selves. Being is a state of presence, a state of vibration, a state of frequency. And this is what we're all going towards. This is what we're leaning towards. And there'll be many challenges, there'll be many things externally, there'll be stresses, there'll be things externally outside us that we'll have to like move through. But a lot of it's about, again, releasing sort of like old patterns, old frequencies, and integrating new higher frequencies, higher sort of vibrations that will start to manifest and create and shift and change our consciousness, create that union between the soul and the higher self, but also it will create and manifest a different sort of reality, individually and collectively. And this is how the spirit world works. So the spirit world, or the infinite realities, or the oneness vibration, works on consciousness, and consciousness is an open source of vibration and frequency that allows us to express reality in a different way and create and manifest in a different way. And this is what they did in the time of Atlantis, and they did it in the time of Lemuria. They were at a state of spiritual evolution where they could create and manifest instantly through consciousness and through vibration and frequency. And this is how the oneness vibration works. And this is what we're being sort of asked to start to shift and change towards now, so we can start to manifest and create within the eternal moment, the infinite self, but also the union of the higher self and the soul, so we can start to align and resonate and harmonize again with these new frequencies, these higher frequencies, but the infinite wisdom and the infinite knowledge of the universe, of the source energy, of the oneness vibration. And this is what this time's about, and this is what we're being sort of like aligned with at the moment. And I feel that there's like I said, there's a natural evolution again. I was talking about, we started talking about the higher self, and then I started talking about the human self, and that was the first step of the process. Then it went on to like the eternal self, the eternal moment. That was leading to oneness of vibrations. It was all starting off with the universal law and the universal laws and their teachings, and then it moves and shifted again from the higher self to this soul, and the soul vibration, the soul frequency, and how the union of the higher self and the soul comes in, and the importance of the relationship between those not the relationship, the perfect union between that two aspects of self, or of this eternal self, this eternal being of our energy, our light. And it's sort of like it's shifting, it's a natural evolution, and it's the wisdom's coming through, and it's coming through for all of us at the moment, and it's just about opening up to it. There needs to be a lot of sort of like releasing, there needs to be a lot of sort of like dissolving, cleansing at the moment. I know that I feel this. There's many times where there's lots of things externally that are coming in, 3D physical reality that's coming in, and the of life, and it's about resolve, it's about letting go, it's about releasing, but it's also about trusting and allowing the process to naturally evolve within each and every one of us, and sort of like being more present and allowing that vibrations, those frequencies, to integrate and manifest within our own energy fields. And this is what this time's about now. That's the insight video for today.